welcome to another film breakdown. If you're new here, my name is Michael, and today we have a film breakdown on Utah State wide receiver Jalen Royals. Jalen Royals, speedster that really boosted his draft stock, I would say, over the last 2 years, and he is just a really complete player. He ran a 4.42 at the combine and weighs 205 pounds at 6 feet tall. Very similar measurables to Emeka Egbuka. And I would say he runs better than Egbuka. At least the straight. I can't remember what Egbuka ran. Did Egbuka run the 40? I can't remember. Anyways, I think Royals is a better athlete than Egbuka, but they're very similar players. Um, Royals does a really good job at creating leverage throughout a route and can really efficiently stack corners in man coverage. And despite, a lack of elite like height, I guess, he's physical and he stacks receivers and he's able to turn around and high point the football and he can out physical a cornerback at the catch point to snag a pass. Royals is really effective on option routes where he can see and process what the defense is doing, what he needs to do to get open, and he has that little nuance that you can't really prove is there, but you just know it's there. His ability to diagnose how to get open, where he can go, what parts of the field he can attack on any given play, and he does it really consistently. He has really unique body control, and I think he can just put himself in quote unquote uncomfortable positions to make a play, make a grab, whether it be in the short areas or the deep areas, whether it be contested or uncontested, he can do it. And that's all because he just has, you know, he has elite athleticism, and that shows up in the straight line speed where he can just turn the burners on and win a foot race. I think he takes advantage of cornerbacks who think, maybe they don't have the best or the most fluid hips. He can just scoot right by them. He also has, like I was saying, he has an ability to get open. And I think it's just because he's able to diagnose pre snap, at least what his side of the field is doing. And I think, the first step is diagnosing if it's man or zone. And then in zone, he does a really good job of just almost like tight ends you see a lot of this in is where they just kind of sit back and wait for the football in the soft spots where there's green grass, and he kind of does that, and then he can turn upfield, and with his speed, athleticism, he can get some yards out of it. So weird play right here. Royals is at the bottom of your screen, and he kind of just has to work back to the football, and he's going to have a defender draped on him, and he knows he's about to get hit, but he just has to have strong hands to just kind of make sure he at least secures the catch and worry about yak later. So bottom of your screen, just a curl route, and a really, I mean, that's a far throw for a curl. And, unfortunately, no yak there because the cornerback was literally on his shoulders, but and again, in zone coverage, it kind of feels like he just has a knack for finding open grass. He just cuts at the perfect time, perfectly splits the defenders in order to give his quarterback the friendliest window possible. Royals is an interesting player to watch at the break of his routes because while some routes are rounded, others are really sharp, and a lot of the times this makes or breaks his rep, as it would for most receivers, obviously. But what I'm about to show you, he puts on a nasty double move at the top of his route, cuts inside, and he's wide open. So he's lined up in the slot. Again, very alignment versatile. Double move to cut to the inside shoulder of his defender. Open in between the hash marks. Huge gain. You could also see Jalen Royals being utilized heavily in the screen game for the Utah State Aggies, and there's a good reason for it. He's very dynamic. He's a dynamic athlete. He's got elite foot speed. He can make guys miss, and he's got that sturdy build to him. He's not a small 6 foot. He's dense, and he's not going to get brought down on initial contact. That all makes for a perfect screen receiver. So bottom of your screen, you're going to see Royals get it, make that man miss, get to the boundary, and get ahead of that guy to get a few extra yards. That defender there pushes him out of bounds, but they're in the red zone about 14 yards. Here's another example of Royals being used on a screen. Far outside. Just bounces around one. I mean, those gains of 6 or 7, they're not going to pop off the stat sheet, but, those are important. One of my favorite traits about Royals is just his home run speed. His ability to put on a double move close to the line and then just burst and take the top off a defense. It's really remarkable, and it creates for a very fun environment for an offense. So, Royals at the top of your screen, little it's wide open. I love it. And again, Royals has excellent ball tracking ability. He can catch a ball with a defender all up in his grill. He has very strong hands. He's very consistent. And I think it's really excellent, his ability to kind of just track it over his shoulder or turn around, high point the ball, whatever it is. He's got excellent ball skills on top of the ball tracking ability. Ball thrown his way, he gets his fingertips on it. I find it extremely rare, if even possible, for him to drop it. This is just an incredible play. He's getting held at the top. His arm was pulled down. He gets one fingertip on it and is able to bobble it until he possesses the football. What a catch! I am super high on Jalen Royals. I think he's really fun. I think he's really good. I just don't know where I rank him. Like I could convince myself that this is a top 5 wide receiver in this year's draft class. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's definitely at minimum a round 2 guy. I have a round 2 grade on him. I just I he's probably ahead of Bond for me. The guys that I know would be ahead of him: Hunter, McMillan, Golden, Egbuka. That's where it ends. Burden maybe, and then that's where you get into, okay, is this where Jalen Royals is territory? So really fun player. I really enjoy him. Um, and he did it against a Big 12 defense in Utah. So I don't want to hear the bad competition crap. And we hear that every year, and then every year the top prospects who had bad competition end up being good in the NFL. So let's relax. But Jalen Royals, he's got the goods. Anyways, if you like this video, I have a ton more just like it on my channel. Feel free to watch those, or give this a like, or subscribe, or comment your thoughts on Jalen Royals. I love getting comments and reading them and seeing people who have just as much passion about this as I do. That is the most rewarding element to me, is talking to people about this. I think that's really cool. So, anyways, I love you very much. Accomplish your dreams, and I will see you next time.